No one I know had Tulsa first place in the Western Conference as we sit here at the end of July, early August.
Honestly, yes. I remember predictions were coming out in off season and in the during the preseason, and they had us obviously all of the players read that, and we all are always interested to hear what media has to say. So I remember us being bottom to last, something like that, or close to the bottom to the last. And here we are, mid-season. We are sitting in the first place.
Now I have to put my hand up and say I didn't have you guys first place at the midseason mark. Hello, welcome to the United Soccer Lounge. My name is Riley James. Thank you so much for watching our show. The last time we talked to our guest, he was a member of Chattanooga playing in League One, and today he is a super sub for FC Tulsa, who are first place in the Western Conference, and that, of course, is Stefan Lukic. Could not be more grateful to have him back on. He is a great friend I've developed over the course of this show, and to be able to talk to him on air again, which is it was just fantastic, and we'll get to it. But the last time he was here, he talked about the Serbian youth system and how it serviced him to be able to be a great soccer player to go on to play college in the United States. How Oklahoma Wesleyan served him to be able to play at the USL League One level, and obviously now to the championship. Today we focused on the cultural impact of what Serbia made him into as far as being a person and being a family man, and how that has impacted Tulsa's success as they sit first place in that Western Conference as of July 30th. So plenty to be excited about. We also go all in on what makes Oklahoma home for him and how awesome it is to play in front of fans who frankly have never experienced this level of success before. So plenty to be excited about if you're a fan of Tulsa, Stefan, or this show. And that'll do it, I think, for us. A couple things I want to get to before we get into the show. We had some connection issues the first couple of questions. It clears up about question 3, so we'll cover it with B-roll. We'll make sure it looks good, but I am not unaware of these things happening over the course of the show. I edit these things, so we'll make sure they're covered up all nice and tight. And then one thing that's near and dear to me is today's my mother's birthday. I love you very much, Mom. You're the best. I know you don't watch these things, but I'm saying I love you, and it's on the internet forever. So this is proof that I remembered, and I'm sure I'm spending the day with you. But this is being recorded July 30th, and this comes out on your birthday. So I love you very much, and I can't wait to see you again. So that's good. Happy we got that covered. We can move on to the show. If you like us, you can subscribe to the show on Goals.tv. It's the United Soccer Lounge. You can put that in the search bar. And Goals TV is available on YouTube. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers for the channel. So go and support that. Make sure you do. And you'll never miss an episode of this podcast or any of the other great ones that we have on the network. So that'll do it for us off the top of the show. Thank you so much for watching. And here's Stefan Lukic. Please welcome back to the program a friend of the show, someone you guys loved so much last year. And we have gotten far enough along in the show that we can welcome back guests and friends of this program. Formerly of Chattanooga in northern Colorado, he made his name in the United States playing college soccer in the state of Oklahoma, a place where he considers that to be his American home. And he is back doing these things in Tulsa for the first place team in the Western Conference. Please welcome back to the program, Stefan Lukic. Stefan, thank you so much for joining us again, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, better than I deserve, probably. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me back. It is always a really pleasure to talk to you.
Your life has been such an interesting thing to study and to research. We talked about Serbia last time you were on the show. We'll talk about it again today. But finding a place that is home in a foreign country, in a place that you are not experienced in and you are not, you just don't have a lot of familiarity with. You found that in Oklahoma during college. To make your way back to Oklahoma, what's that been like both on the pitch to be able to play so well for Tulsa and off the pitch to be in a place you're so familiar with?
Honestly, it is dreams come true. I signed up professional contract in 2021. We talked last time about it a little bit, And even since then, since that first contract, my aspiration and my goal and my dream was always to come back to Oklahoma, to obviously live and retire here, but even more so to one day come and play for Tulsa. And in this offseason, past offseason, that opportunity showed up. And once that showed up, obviously I had no further questions in terms of where my next place to play will be. And I am so happy to be here, playing in front of friends that now became family is just something that is fantastic. And to be quite honest with you, it gives me extra motivation every game in those hard moments when everyone's tired, when everyone's doubting, oh my goodness gracious, it's really hot here in Oklahoma during the summer. So the games can be very physically demanding. In those moments, I promise I'm not over exaggerating. That gives me extra motivation to make extra step, extra effort.
So I'm curious because we talked about it a little bit last time you were on the show. I don't think we dipped into it as much as I would have liked, considering you were playing with Chattanooga at the time. So we had limited time there. But I want to talk about Oklahoma. Obviously, you spent college there and you did everything to work your way back. What about Oklahoma is home to a man from Serbia?
That honestly, that is question that I'm quite often asked. Obviously, now all of the teammates in the locker room know and see how much support I get in Oklahoma and how many connections within the community I have and all of those. And everyone's asking me, why Oklahoma? Well, out of all places, right? And I believe it's a good question. And place as place is never going to be special, I believe, but it is people within the place that make places special. It is the people that are our hugest assets and our biggest motivation. So I'm obviously I've been in Colorado, and Colorado is beautiful, and I loved people there as well. I've been in Tennessee, and Tennessee is beautiful as well. But the community here in Tulsa and the welcoming that I got from the day one when I showed up and didn't speak a single word of English, like zero. I never studied English in school, nor I knew anything about the culture or I just showed up in college, zero English, and people welcomed me, helped me every step of the way. And that is something that I will always remember and cherish. And that is the reason why I consider this community to be uh, my community.
That's awesome. That's it's you said it perfectly. It's not places that are special, it's people that make them special. And Oklahoma has been just that for you. And it's translated into a team. Obviously, it's more than just you out there, but a team that is first place in the Western Conference. And it is something for native Oklahoma folks to be proud about, and definitely people who are not native to Oklahoma, like you, to be proud about, and people that go and support this club. So, back to the soccer, but you guys are first place just over halfway through the regular season. What are you guys doing right? Because like I told you before the show, we made the joke about it. Like no one I know had Tulsa first place in the Western Conference as we sit here at the end of July, early August.
Honestly, yes, I remember predictions were coming out in off season and in the during the preseason, and they had us obviously all of the players read that, and we all are always interested to hear what media has to say. So I remember us being bottom to last, something like that, or close to the bottom to the last. And here we are, mid-season. We are sitting in the first place. Uh, I believe that to be very interesting. But the reason why I believe we are where we are is the process. From the day one, we haven't been really focused on a result, on this and that. We've been focused on getting better every single day, and that is the culture that Luke Spencer is building within Tulsa and Caleb Sewell, the GM and the head coach, and obviously the staff. They've been huge on the process. let's get better each day. Each day, training is holy here. We take training so serious that we push each other really hard, and I
Yeah.
believe that that translates into the game. We almost sometimes joke about, but it is true that some of our trainings are just as hard, if not harder, than the games, and that is the process. Secondly, I believe that there cannot be only one reason why we are doing well. There is always multiple reasons. Another reason, I believe, that just the group of players that came in and the mentality of the locker room from the day one to push each other and get each other better. And it's obviously very competitive, but it is also very healthy, because everyone is getting each other better and iron sharpens the iron. So we are really focused on process. And secondly, we are also a good group of guys who work together really well.
Now I have to put my hand up and say I didn't have you guys first place at the midseason mark. You make friends doing this, and you and I have definitely, I think, met that mark. But like, I'd have to be unbiased when we start, and it's not something we expected. But USL is full of surprises, as we saw last year with Rhode Island going to the final in USL Championship, Spokane going to the final in USL League One. Anything can happen in this league, and I think that's what makes it one of the more special leagues in all of the world because things just happen all the time. Every Saturday, every Wednesday, the Jägermeister Cup matches. Like it's been so cool to see it this season unfold, and Tulsa's been the biggest surprise and the most welcome surprise of them all, which I could not be happier for all of you guys, and especially given your
Thank,
situation, being in Tulsa and being back in Oklahoma, it's even more special that way.
thank you.
But I want to talk one more thing about Tulsa before we move on to a little bit about you. The environment that you guys have now created. Being a winning team obviously helps a lot, but you have a lot of support at these games. What have they told you about going to these matches and what it's like from the fan perspective to be able to understand what you guys are playing for and in front of, but the fan experience. What can people expect when they go to a Tulsa match?
Well, first, I will say that, let's be honest, people here in Tulsa are not used to teams succeeding. That hasn't been a thing in past, and we have to face it. That is the reality.
Yeah.
So hopefully we are changing it this year, and we are changing it as much as we can. And obviously, um, I want to use this opportunity to invite all of the people that might be watching this show to come to our game and support us as we are now in a crucial part of the year. It's just the mid-season and job's not done yet for us, and we are not stopping. We are pushing even harder and working even harder and training even harder. So we would appreciate if the fans would understand this crucial point in time that we are in right now, pushing through the mid-season, starting the second part of the year. And I hope we get to host the playoff game this year, which is something that hasn't been done in the past. And that is something that is obviously dream comes true for all of us who love Tulsa, and I'm obviously one of them. I love this place. I love this city. I love people within the city. So I would appreciate if they would come to our game even more excited and even in greater numbers. Although they have been phenomenal throughout this year, and when you play at One Oak, it really is difficult for other teams because we I think the stat is that we are the best team in the league in last 30 minutes, especially at One Knock. We are pushing and going and grinding and really, really giving everything we have to win for ourselves, for our families, but then also for Tulsa, of course.
If I'm honest, when I do this show, you're episode 71. So I've done this quite a bit now. I am so, excited and I'm always eager to hear what folks have to say about their clubs and their communities and all these different places. I have had a hard time not smiling this entire time because I know how much it means to you to be there in that community with that club and to see so much success And like you said, a club that's not really used to this and not used to being first place in the league. It's so amazing. I could not be happy for you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
If you're in Tulsa, if you're near Oklahoma, if you're any of those places where you can make it a reasonable drive to go see these guys play, please do so. Or if you're, maybe not in Tulsa or maybe in an area that has a different USL team, go to their game and support Tulsa and maybe agitate some home fans. But no, man, like I said, it's awesome. I want to go back a little bit away from Tulsa to your other home, Serbia. We talked about it a little last time, your very extended youth career and what all of that entailed before you made your way to the United States. What about Serbia still impacts Stefan Lukic, the soccer player, today?
Well, I will be honest, I'm now among the oldest guys in the locker room. So I always have these thoughts: how do we make it to be where we are right now? And I mean us, all of our as professional soccer players. So one thing that stands out to me is a pickup culture in Serbia. I think that had a very great impact on my life and on my soccer journey, and that is something that we do not have within United States, unfortunately, to the extent that we should. And I am obviously a huge member of community here, and I'm working really hard in my off time to help next generation of soccer players and try to get that culture of pickup for kids alive. uh, Another things that I still bring with me from Serbia are obviously passion for the game and passion for relationships. People from Serbia are very, I would say, spiritual in a way that we connect with people really well, and that is, I guess, a cultural skill. Um, but yes, I miss my home, Serbia, but I am really happy where I'm at right now. And thank you so much for smiling for me and for being happy for me, because I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. It's very, very rare to meet someone that is as passionate and openly passionate about things and places and people like you are. So to see everything work out for someone that you are fond of, it's been so cool to see. And you mentioned the Serbian impact and kind of your roots of it. You are very familiar, at least in a sense, with promotion relegation, and that is coming here to the United States in 2027. Um, as a foreign player, people have teammates or people asked you questions about what they can maybe expect. I know it's a couple years away and you guys are focused on the season, but obviously big news in the USL landscape. Have you had conversations with people about promotion relegation?
We are all futuristic people, so everyone's thinking, "Oh my God, what's that gonna look like when the promotion relegation comes?" And I believe it's so good for U.S. soccer. I believe it's healthy, and I believe it will improve U.S. soccer overall. Um, we've seen, for example, I know you've probably follow English football the most.
Yeah.
How exciting it is when team comes from League Two to League One, then to Championship, then to Prem. How exciting and wonderful it is to have a David plays against Goliath and David beats the Goliath, and everyone loves that story. And I think the USL, with introducing promotion and relegation, is surely opening the door for that story. And I believe that story is fantastic. You can see even within the USL Cup, I don't know how much you follow, but USL Jägermaster Cup, when the game's on the line and when the USL one team beats the championship team, it just means a lot more.
Yeah.
I believe that to be way more interesting and competitive, and I believe for us players, it's going to be more exciting, as you are always fighting for something, right? If you are, let's say, playing the top division in USL and you are close to bottom, you still have something to play for. I think that is fantastic, and that just gives another dimension to soccer within US, which we didn't have in any sport, I believe, at this point. So I'm so excited about it. I just hope we implement it right. So there are some aspects of worry within myself,
Yeah.
within our soccer community. How is that going to look like? How are we going to implement this great idea? Because having a great idea is awesome, but implementing it is more important. So I hope we implement it in the right way. And if we do, I think it will be fantastic.
Right. And there has to be some kind of leeway with the American culture with this, right? We're not England. We're not the size of some of these European countries. We're definitely not have the historical reference points for what is going on with those countries. But like, there has to be some consideration for the American culture and the size of the United States with the travel that's going to demand at the players. Because even the NFL has divisions, right? You are geographically linked to three other teams, so your travel isn't Seattle to Miami to Minnesota. Like you can't do that. The body can't do that. So I think there's a lot of things to figure out, and that's what the league office in Tampa is there for. And hopefully they can do some things that mitigate some future issues, maybe with some travel. I mean, you played in USL League One. You know how demanding it is. You're confined to conferences and championship, and that's a conversation I had with Connor McGlynn pretty recently. It's like, League One can just send you anywhere, right? You can play in Spokane one week and then be in Greenville the next week. But you mentioned the Jägermeister Cup, which I think is so interesting. Greenville advanced to the quarterfinals, which is a massive win for USL League One. And we saw Portland Hearts of Pine play to penalties and win in such a dramatic fashion for their group finale game. It's so cool to see the two leagues mix, and it's a great appetizer for what's to come with promotion and relegation. So it's an exciting thing. Couple more things. Cannot appreciate you enough for this. You've played in both leagues now, and you're familiar with the demand and what it expects of you as a player to make the move from USL League One to now playing at the championship level. What has that transition been like for you?
Well, I've been living in this fashion that I believe I'm obsessed with progress and I'm obsessed with getting better. I'm obsessed with constantly working on myself and improving myself. I I love to work on myself harder than I work on anything else. And obviously USL is demanding physically and exhausting. And I believe if players are not taking good care of themselves, they will not last in this league because the league is very, as you just mentioned, you played one weekend in Spokane, then you are getting ready to go to Greenville, which is completely different temperature and completely different weather, and all of those aspects affect us greatly. And then on the other side, I would argue that USL as its own league is one of the physically harder leagues to play in. The games are transitional. There is a lot of obviously running, which you have to learn to enjoy and embrace. So I again, how do I do with that, and having two kids and all of that is would be impossible if I don't eat well, sleep well, rest well, take great care of myself, and not only like on the days that matter, because every day I believe matters, but it is a lifestyle. It is a constant choice to eat healthy. Is it a constant choice to sleep well? And it is a constant choice to rest and recover and work on myself and on my body so that I can perform and do the best I can to help Tulsa, which is the place I absolutely love, advance, win, and get better. And one of the things that's been theme for me this year is I'm constantly looking for ways to add value. And I've been playing lately and I've been coming off the bench a lot. And uh, my goal is to never complain, to not be bothered by anything, but to constantly look for ways to add value to the team, to Tulsa, to coaching staff. And I believe that to be the right way of living and having this career.
Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned your family in there too, because it is a massive thing. You're a family man, you have a wife and you have kids, and it's such a demand that a lot of guys just don't understand because they're, my age or they're younger. They don't have kids. They don't have a wife, and it's about them. So how have you balanced that? And does your role as the head of a family influence the way that you operate on the pitch?
Well, I will be honest. Another thing that's fantastic about Tulsa is obviously I met my wife here in college
Yeah,
during the college, and right now we are back here. So we have a lot of friends that went with us to college playing different sports, or some of them played with me in college soccer. And right now they have the kids that are all about same age.
yeah.
So it's been a blessing, not only for me but for my wife and for my kids, who now have friends and constantly enjoying the socializing part, and it's just being fantastic. As far as how it affects me, it is also, I think, mentally rewarding, physically demanding, but mentally rewarding to come off from the training from a hard day and then look forward to being a family man. At the same time, it is, as you mentioned, sometimes really difficult as well when I want to rest and my daughter is right now 3 years old. Happy birthday to my daughter. It was her birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to her. So sometimes she just wants to play. Well, all the time she just wants to play, and sometimes I'm really tired. But those moments are unavoidable, and
Yeah.
I get along with them, and I say, okay, uh, I'm going to be very intentional, and I know where day before the game I am teaching her, hey, daddy has to focus and rest. But if it's not, I also am very intentional about spending quality time with her. So finding a balance in between those is sometimes challenging, but also rewarding and enjoyable.
It's so cool to be able to see people balance that, the demand of what it means to be head of a family, but also, you have a responsibility to your teammates and to the fans that come and watch you guys play to be the best, not only at just game day, but on the pitch in the practice facility with them. But family is the most important thing that we have. And it's the best thing that we do as people. So it's so interesting to learn these things. I cannot appreciate you making the time for the show again. I mean, this has been a spectacular conversation. I want to do this once a year. How does that sound to you?
I would love that, because it's always great talking to you, and you are fantastic, and your show is fantastic, and then I strongly encourage all of my followers to watch it, listen to it, learn from it, and tune in to what you do, because I believe it's spectacular.
And you're our first player from Tulsa, so that's opening up a new fan base for us, which is so fantastic. Thank you so much, man. I wish you the best second half of the year. Please stay healthy. That's the most important thing to me. But you guys definitely have an opportunity to go and win some things, so I hope you do that.
Thank you so much, and have no doubt we will do our absolute best. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to talk to you once again.
Thank you so much to everyone with Tulsa to help make this happen. Really, I should be thanking Stefan because he jumped through all the hoops I usually have to jump through to be able to make this happen. He cleared it with the comms people and the GM of the team and all of these different people that I usually talk to, and they like lead the player to me. He did all of that because he wanted to come back on the show. I reached out to him to come back on the program, and it just all worked out so wonderfully. So a massive shout out to him for doing all of that. And there's not a lot of people I've ever met in my life that are quite like Stefan Lukic. And I've covered a lot of sports. I've met a lot of athletes. I've met a lot of folks who work with these teams. He sticks out to me for a lot of reasons, and you root for a guy like that, and to see him back in a place where he loves so much, it makes me so happy. You could see me smiling like an idiot over the course of the show just to hear him talk about how much he loves his family, Oklahoma, and this beautiful game that we all get to share together. So that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching the show, and again, shout out to Stefan for making the effort to be here. You can find us on the internet. I am at RileyJamesIAC on Instagram and X, the show's Instagram account, with plenty of great clips, past and present, from this show, is at USL on Goals. The parent company is available at goals.tv on Instagram, at goals_TV on X, and the URL where many great creators make great content about the world of soccer and everything in it and everything in between, including the entire catalog of my show is available on www.goals.tv. That will do it for us. Thank you so much for watching the program. For Stefan Lukic, I'm Riley James. If anyone cares, we will see you again Friday. And then after Friday, we have some very special shows coming up. So please stay tuned, and we're super excited about it.